So welcome everyone to our June Doug meetup. Thanks for accommodating if you're here that we had the kind of somewhat last minute date change. But if you're here, you're meant to be here. And if you're not here and listening to the recording, you're still meant to be here. Oh, did I skip a slide? I did. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Doug or Dynamics user groups, we are a group of 47,000 plus community members strong. I feel like that number has gone up in the last year, Gav. I feel like it was 45 when we started.
It definitely was.
It definitely was. So we are growing. So if you are here and you are not a member of Dynamics user group, you can stay. It doesn't mean you're kicked out, but check out their website, dynamicsusergroup.com. It's a free community to join. There's a lot of resources out there on the website that help to grow your skills in all flavors and things, Dynamics, Power Platform, whatever we're calling these platforms these days. So a couple of rules of engagement before we start. Be courteous. Try to use the hand raise feature once the presentation starts if you have a question. We also have the Q&A enabled in Teams. So if you have a question and you want to just drop it there because you're like, I have this question, but if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget what it is. That's me. Feel free to drop it in the Q&A and I'll keep an eye on that and call out questions to Jade as she presents. Please contribute to the meeting, but also let everyone participate. We don't have a huge group here today, so I don't think that'll be a problem. But if you have a question or multiple questions, ask one question and then let others ask their questions before you kind of drop the rest of yours. Unless nobody else has a question, then feel free to ask those questions. So some of the programs that Dynamics User Group has, Doug Forums, conferences, we just had DynamicsCon in person in Chicago a little over a month ago. So there's also Doug Meetups, you are at one of them. And there's lots of other programs out there, a lot of content on YouTube. This will end up on YouTube. So lots of things out there to grow your skills and learn for free. A couple, there are 3 more regional meetups for 2025 that are scheduled in North America. Denver, Colorado in August, Dublin, Ohio in August. So if you want to travel a lot in the 20s of August, head up to those. And then Dallas, Texas in September. We are also planning one for January of 2026. Yes, that does say January. Yes, we are already planning it in Tampa. There's also 3 international regionals that are coming up. July will be in West Africa and East Africa. And then again in Denmark in September. So if you're in any of those areas, feel free to check out those meetups. You can check out the Doug website to get information on how you can register to attend those events. And if you did not hear, DynamicsCon in person will be in Las Vegas next year in May. Right now, tickets are on sale for $999. That's the early bird price. If you scan the QR code, that will get you to the registration page for that. Prices do go up as we get closer to the conference. So if you're interested, grab those tickets now. Call for speakers will open later this year. So if you're interested in speaking, start thinking about that because it usually opens up towards the end of the year in the fall for speaking. And I believe that is all I have. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to turn it over to Jade Simon, who has graciously agreed to be our speaker this evening. So Jade, take it away.
Thank you, Brittany. Hi, everyone. Brittany, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present and speak today. Go ahead and pull up my slides here. Oh, let's see here. Okay. All right, so today I'm going to be speaking about Power Pages. The name of my presentation is A Simple Portal with Power Pages and a Hint of Copilot. So we'll add in a little Copilot during our demo. So about me, I'm Jade Simon. I'm the founder and CEO of SimCore Solutions. We're an IT consulting company specializing in the federal government space of dynamic CRM and Power Platform development. I'm a speaker. I spoke at DynamicsCon this year, so that was really exciting for me. A mentor as well, an award winner. I've received a couple awards in 2025, Enterprising Women of the Year award, and Lake Nona Chamber of Commerce Minority Business of the Year. I have over 20 years of experience in tech. I started in the Dynamics space in 2017. My expertise is in Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Power Platform development, and I love Power Pages. So I'm based in Orlando, Florida. And a fun fact about me, I love baking cakes. And not just any cakes, like really cool custom cakes. So I'll share my Instagram with you guys later. So the agenda for today, I'm going to give a quick overview of Power Pages. We're going to discuss the use case that I'm going to demo, which is going to be called our Power Plan Events Company, which is an event planning company. We're going to discuss how we're going to connect Power Pages with Dynamics 365 CRM. How we're going to use Copilot and automation with Power Pages, do a demo, and then Q&A and wrap up. So before we dive right in, I have a quick surprise random giveaway of a Starbucks gift card. So how we're going to do this is I'm going to put the number of teams participants in this random wheel spinny thing. So how many people do we have on the call? With me. Is it
6, including you.
So I'll say 5. Okay, so we're gonna spin the wheel. Okay, who is 3 on the list? I can't even see my team's window. Oh, there we go. Who do we have? Number 3. 2, 3. Heather, you're the winner. So if you want to put your email address in the chat, or you can email it to me, whichever you feel more comfortable with. My email is jade@simcoresolutions.com, and I'll give you your prize after this. So back to our regularly scheduled program. If I can find it. Okay, great. Okay, so overview of Power Pages. What is Power Pages? Power Pages is a website builder tool from Microsoft that's a part of the Power Platform. It allows you to build and manage external-facing websites connected to Dataverse. Why use Power Pages? Power Pages lets you quickly build secure professional websites without needing code. That's pretty cool. It connects directly to your data in Dataverse, which makes it easy to collect, display, and manage your information. It's great for creating portals where people can fill out forms, see their information, or interact with your business online securely and connect it to your data. So our use case for today is going to be an event planning company called Power Planned Events. So their problem is that customers have to email or call to request their events, which was pretty time consuming and hard to track, and easy to lose important details about their events. So our solution is a simple online portal where customers can quickly submit event requests and check the status anytime they want. So how we're going to connect the Power Pages website portal to Dynamics 365. So each event request record is saved to a custom event request table in Dataverse. So that connects our Power Pages front end, where the users are going to access the data, to our backend Dynamics CRM data, because they're sharing the same data source, Dataverse. And then inside our model-driven app, which is used for the Power Planned Events team, so the event planning company, they're using this model-driven app where they're going to see the list of submitted requests and events with their list of statuses, and they'll be able to go and manage them. And then each event request record will have a business process flow. which is going to allow them to track each stage of the event. So starting with it being submitted, approved, planned, and then completed. So they'll be able to add information and data as the event takes place or gets planned, all the way until it's completed. So how are we going to use Copilot in automation with Power Pages? So we're going to use a little bit of Copilot to help us with various design elements on the website. So we're going to get some words and some contents for the web pages and use Copilot to generate a theme and colors for our website. We will also use Power Automate and use flows to add some automation to this process. So the automation is going to send an email to the Power Plan events team when an event request is submitted. And then we're also going to send an email when the customer, when the status changes, so that the customer knows that their event got approved or it's completed. And then we're also going to change the event status from new to submitted once it's been submitted on the portal. So let's do our quick demo here. So first we're going to go to make.powerpages.microsoft.com. That's going to take us to our Power Pages environment. And as this loads, we'll see. So I wanted to save a little time in creating the actual shell of the portal because it does take a little time to provision the portal. So I didn't want to have us just sitting here while it's spinning. So I created our Power Plans events shell with no data or anything in it. And we also have our Dataverse tables that have been created that have our event requests table. So we have that part out of the way. So all we need to do now is click on Edit. And this is going to take us into our Power Pages Design Studio. This will give us that GUI interface to be able to make changes to our website really easily. So as you notice, you have Copilot popping up on the side here. So we're going to take advantage of that a little bit. I don't like to let it just create the whole site because it can get a little crazy and you kind of have to rework to get rid of stuff you might not want, and it can be a little, I like to kind of have control over the site. So I will use it for some elements, but some things are just not quite ready. So first thing let's go ahead and change our header. So we're not going to be Contoso, we're going to be Power Planned Events. And let's change this logo to see what we can find here. There's a stock images library, but I think this little one here of someone touching a star, I don't know, let's just go with that. And then we'll do this for our alt text down here. So we've got the header changed. Now let's use Copilot to give us some different colors. I'm a fan of something more vibrant. I want a little bit of pink in there. So let's give it some prompting here. So we'll say create a new fun and playful theme for my Power Plan events company. Include the color pink. Let's see what we get. Okay, maybe. Let's see if it can give us some more options. Just try again. That looks pretty similar. Let's try it again. Okay, I like this. I think I didn't like the orange, so let's try this just pink. I guess that'll work for now. We might want to make some changes to it, but all right. So now that we've got this theme, let's go ahead and add some text on the homepage, and we can actually use Copilot for this as well. So we click here in the text box, click Copilot, and we give it a prompt. Let's say create the content on the homepage for Power. But it says, welcome to Power Plant Events, where we transform your vision into reality. Our expert team specializes in creating unforgettable experiences tailored to your needs. Let's see what else. Rewrites. Okay. This contained potentially harmful or offensive content. Rewrite it again and rewrite and try it again. That's so weird. I don't know why it did that. Maybe I need to type it again. Create the content for our events. Pretty much the same. Okay, well, we're gonna go with that. That's so weird. Okay, so then let's see, what else do we want? We want to add an image on the homepage. I think this little party one works fine. And I think that looks pretty good. So now we want users to be able to submit their event requests. So we need a new page. So let's go ahead and do new page. And I'm just going to add this manually. And then the name of this page is going to be submit event requests. And we want to add it to the main navigation. I'm going to start from blank and click add. Cool. So now we want text here. Let's see what Copilot can give us for this one. So let's see. Add text for the user to submit their event request. Let's see what it says. To submit your event request, please fill out the designated form on our website. Ensure all required fields are completed to facilitate a smooth approval process. We look forward to assisting you with your plan. I like it. So we'll do that. And now we need to actually add the form. So as I mentioned before, we already have our request events table in Dataverse, which allowed us to also add a form by default, the main form. So I've added fields to that. So it's going to give us the opportunity to use that existing form to create our form for the portal. So we're going to do new form here. Select the table. It's called event requests. And it's our event request form that already exists. And I'm going to rename this form on the portal. We're going to call it submit event request. And then if we look at the other options here, this is telling us that we're going to use this form to create a new record. So that's a yes. And then on submit, what display message do we want the user to have? Your details have been submitted successfully. That's good enough. CAPTCHA, I don't think we need to have a CAPTCHA on here. Any attachments, we don't need any on this form per se. And I think we're good. Oh, this one. Enable form filling assistance preview. I don't quite like this too much, so we're going to take it off. And we're going to click OK. So boom, but just like that, we have our form. Pretty easy. And one last thing, it's telling us here we need to set permissions. So we need to click on new permission. And it defaults to the name of the form, what our table permissions are going to be. So this is telling us who can access what in terms of our event request table. So global would mean that anyone can access anything. That's not necessarily what we want. We want the user that accesses the portal to only see their event requests. And on the table of our event requests, we have the contact lookup, which is our user. So we have a relationship between the event request and the contact table. So we're going to use that relationship here so that this contact will see their event requests. And the permissions that they'll be able to read, update, create. I think we'll give them everything except delete. We want to keep any records of requests that were created. And for roles, we're going to do administrators and authenticate users. We're not going to allow people that are not registered or don't have an account to create event requests. So they'll need to make sure that they create an account, and we're going to save that. So we have our permissions set up for our form in our event request table. So that looks pretty good. So I want us to add another form, not a form, a web page that's going to allow the user, once they've submitted their requests, they can see a list of requests in the status. So let's add a new page here. We're going to add it manually. Again, start from blank, and the name of this is going to be track event requests. And click add. So here we can use a little Copilot. Let's see. Add text for the user to manage and review their event requests. Let's see what it says. Easily manage and view all your event requests in one convenient location. Our user-friendly interface allows you to track the status of each request, make adjustments, and access important details with just a few clicks. Maybe. Let's see if it'll rewrite it without giving us a crazy message. Okay. Effortlessly oversee and monitor all your event requests from a single accessible location. Let's try one more time. Easily manage and track your areas. Okay, that's good enough. Cool. So we have our text for this one. So now we want to show a list. So we just click that add button there and we go to list. And for this, I'm going to try this new and improved version of the component, which I just found out about, which looks cooler than your regular entity list. We're going to turn off AI insights. I don't want that. So for the table, it's still our event requests. And we're going to use our view called active event request. And the name we're going to give this list is track event requests. And for actions, this is what we would allow for on the entity list. So whether we wanted them to be able to create new records from this list or view details, edit the record, or delete records. For this, we'll allow them to view the details. And we'll select the form that they can view, which is our submit event request. And view, that's good. Okay. And then let's see. Pretty good. We'll leave everything else the same. And we have our list. Looks pretty good. Well, it'll look better in the preview. It looks kind of squashed. So let's see. There is one thing that I wanted to add on the form. So when a user logs in, they're a contact, and this form, it's just labeled as customer, but this is really a contact lookup. So when they log in, I want to default this lookup to the user logged in to their contact record. So to do that, we need to go in, edit form, and under data, we need to open the Power Pages management side, because we're going to add something called metadata, which is going to allow us to default that out of the box. It's going to pre-populate that field to the login user. So this is our old school Power Platform, Power Pages management side. So once we get into the actual form, we go to this 3 dots, and then we go to basic form metadata, and we add a new metadata record. Okay, something weird just happened. Go back, we go new, there we go. All right, and then type, we want to select attribute. and we select the field that we want to default. It's called customer. If you scroll down to the pre-populate field, we select current portal user, and then we're going to select the contact field is where we're populating that data from. And we save that. And we can go back to our design studio and we're done here. So that's our form should be good to go now. And then our other web page should be good to go as well. And I think we're looking pretty good on this website. Pretty quick and simple. So let's go ahead and preview and see what we're looking like. Let me just think, just in case we need to sync that configuration from the back end. Okay, and then let's preview it on the desktop. And then we need to log in because we're not showing anything to those that are not logged in. So you will get a permission error. If we wanted to go with your out-of-the-box authentication, we can do that and have the users register. I'm going to go with the Microsoft Entra ID, which is another way to authenticate if someone already has a Microsoft account. So it logs me in, takes me to my profile, and then if we go to our homepage, you have our beautiful image, which is huge, but it'll do. And then if we go to submit event requests in our navigation, this will take us to our wonderful form that we have for someone to submit an event. So we'll go ahead and submit one. So we'll call this Power Conference. And then we are defaulted here. What is this conference? So Power Conference will be a gala and seminar with lots of food and drinks and fun. I don't know. Whatever description they want to give. And then we're going to say this is going to take place. Calendar looks funky. July 4th, why not? And it's going to start at 6 p.m. and end at 9 p.m. Event location, Miami. And I think that's it. We could totally add more details. Probably I was just thought about like the attendees and stuff like that, number of guests, but works. So we're going to submit that. And one thing I forgot to mention was our automation. So I've also set up a couple of Power Automate flows. So when the event is completed and submitted, we have a flow that runs, and it's going to let our event planning company know, like, hey, you have an event request. And if we just take a look at the Power Automate flow quickly on Create, it runs when this event request record is added, and we get our contact, our customer's information, because we're going to send the email to the customer. No, for this one we don't. Sorry, this one is defaulted to send it to me as the owner of the company, and it just has a simple little email with the customer information. And then we're also changing the status of the record, so it goes from new when it's submitted, and then we change the status to submitted. So then that will show in the model-driven app. So if we go back to our model-driven app in here, so we have this app called the Event Planning Company, and it has one menu item, which is our event request table. So we refresh that. We see we have our event that came in, Power Conference. We see the customer, the event details, and then if we go into it, we'll see our business process flow that'll allow the event planning company to step through and go through every phase of implementing this event. So it has all the details. And then when they're ready to move it to the next stage, they can do that. And then once it is submitted, they review it, everything looks good. Maybe they've gotten a deposit, they can go to approve it. And then once they do that, another flow will run and send an email to the customer to say, hey, your event's been approved, we're ready to go. So if we check our email, we should have some emails. Okay, so first one we got was that, hello, Power Plant Events, a new event request has been submitted for the below event. See the below for the details. We have the customer name, the event name, description, all your details. And then once we approved it, we got another email. The event has been approved. Please use the payment link to secure your event. We'll reach out within 1 to 2 business days to discuss final details. And then you could have a link there so they could submit their deposit. So that is the flow of how we could interact from the Power Pages side to the Dynamics CRM and have automation to tie everything together. We use a little bit of Copilot in there. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up my demo. I hope it wasn't too fast, but that's where we are. But I also wanted to finish out with another surprise random giveaway. So we have 5. So do we still have 5?
Yep.
Okay, they're gonna spin it again. Who is the second person on the list? I can't get to it. Come on. Okay, there we go. Second person. Brittany? Do you count?
No, I think it goes to the next person.
Okay. Carlos, you are the winner of an Amazon gift card. $15.
Oh, Amazon. Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You can put your email in the chat or you can send it directly to me at jade@simcoresolutions.com. But that wraps up my presentation. Any questions?
I have a question. Actually, this is Carlos. I am very, 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 very new to Power Pages. I've always sort of had the question, and this might be super basic to that aspect of Power Platform, but I've always had the question of authentication for external users with their own sort of credentials, right? Their own email address. This is something that is totally possible in Power Pages. Like you can create sort of accounts for different clients and store client related information on Power Pages that they can access with their own sort of non-Microsoft email credentials access, right? That's possible in Power Pages.
So many different types of authentication methods. So yeah, they don't necessarily have to have a Microsoft account using like Entra ID. They can do the out of the box authentication, which is not necessarily recommended, but they would be able to use any type of email address for that type of authentication. And it creates like an invitation code within Power Pages. And it allows them to use that to kind of redeem and set up their account. Or there's other, like you can use Facebook, like there's, so many different types of authentication depending on your crowd, your user base. But like in terms of like government, you may want to use something more secure. So I've worked on projects where, we've used Azure B2C, which I hear is kind of like going away, I want to say. But Okta. There's different types of ways to authenticate. Yeah.
Yeah, following that, and I think you touched on it, was if you could give examples of use cases where like sort of security is a concern, right? Because I can see a solution or where I could apply something like that, but it's a sort of a healthcare thing, and I don't know to what extent. I mean, that's sort of feasible with them for at a Power Pages scale, right? Because of
Yeah.
the security issue, right?
Yeah. Which is, very important to use like the security mechanism as well as authentication, but like, your correct permissions for web roles and making sure that people are not like anonymous, and can access things. But I've worked on projects where the government uses Power Pages, so it's not, out of the question. But it does, you do have to make sure the authentication is set up properly. So yeah, I could definitely send you some more information on the types of secure authentication that have, because it's definitely used in healthcare and government.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
No, I was just going to back your point up. I work with a couple of partners, even globally, that use it in highly regulated sectors. It's just about getting the right governance in place and making sure that's all done in the correct way before you go out and start actually making it and building it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is there a
Anyone?
limit? Is there a limit to how many like additional like pages you can have in addition to like the main page, like sub pages, or is that like a unknown at this point?
Yeah, I don't know of a limit. I've been on a project where there's like a lot, so I don't think that there's necessarily a limit. Um, I wonder if you would have some type of performance issues though, but I haven't experienced that. That's a good question. I'm gonna ask around on that. Cool.
I know you touched on it in the presentation, but with Copilot, do you see any kind of use cases that are coming up that will be quite handy for people to know where to use it? Because I think you made a really good point where a lot of people are a bit fatigued with where it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it's always good to hear of where it's doing a good job.
Yeah. Just for me using it, like I like the ideas for the content, but like actually creating like your whole site and your entire it gets a little wonky. Like I'm like, just create this one thing. Like even like asking it to do one section of my page, it still created a whole page and like different sections talking about different stuff. And I'm like, no, I just wanted you to create this form, So I feel like it kind of needs some work. But if you want it to like kind of take over and build your site, like I think it's good for that. But if you want more specific control over things, and I find it's better to do it manually, like creating your forms or your list, those type of things. But for design, I think it's good, like giving you, content and theming and like the images and stuff that it generates for your design looks really good, but the actual functional is where it struggles.
Yeah, that's good news for people that come from Dynamics background in the Power Platform then, because it's usually the design side that takes a lot longer to get your head around.
That's true. So it's good for that. Like you don't have to be creative anymore. Like it will do that part for you.
Can you embed like a co-pilot or an agent into the Power Pages that like people on that are using the pages can like use to access like a database of, if there's, FAQs or, instructions or something for whatever you're using the Power Page for, that they can ask questions to it, or is that not available yet?
Oh, I have not seen that. I think that would be really cool. And if it's not like there yet, I really see it coming, but I haven't seen anyone do that yet. I haven't seen any option for it, but that would be super cool.
See, now I have to go check the roadmaps and see if I see anything.
Yeah.
Because
And even if,
I would be surprised if it didn't end up there in the next couple years.
yeah, for sure. And even if it can't like do it, like can we still do it? Like, can we create an agent and like manually add it and via code? Like that would be cool. So, I'm
Yeah,
gonna try.
like a data source of like in your example of the power planned events of hey, here's some event tips and tricks that you may want to query, rather than having it be a big page of stuff people have to read if they have something specific they want to search for and ask
Yeah,
questions about, that they could do that.
exactly. That's awesome. I like that.
I already hear the wheel spinning in your head trying to figure out how you can do that now.
Yeah, because I'm like, you can do like a bot on like a chat, like virtual agent. I know in the Power Pages, so I'm pretty sure you could do an agent, Copilot agent. So that's cool.
Aren't they like sort of trying to merge those two things? Like an agent sort of starts as chatbot, but then it becomes like something, or they're trying to have it become something more than just a chatbot. But it starts off its life as a sort of like chatbot with like pre-programmed flows.
Exactly. Yeah. And then now you're able to do way more with agents. Yeah.
Going by the last couple of events I've been at, they basically want them talking to each other so you can do even less work.
Yeah.
It seems to be the goal at the moment.
You get
Whether they
agents to create
whether they
events.
get there.
Cool. Anything else? I'm gonna stop sharing then. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. This has been really great for me. Just getting the practice. Like it's my second time presenting, so I wasn't as nervous as I thought I'd be, but
You're a
It went-
seasoned pro.
Great job.
Yeah,
Great job.
Yeah,
I
you
was
did
about to
great.
say, second time we wouldn't have guessed it.
oh, thank you.
Hey Jade, where can I get your email? I want to make sure to get the Amazon gift card.
Yes, I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, actually, let me put this up so you guys can see it. This is my LinkedIn and my what do you call it? Email right here.
Soon it'll be a QR code to talk to your agent. So it's messing my agent. It'll sort it out for me.
What was that?
I said soon it'll be a QR code for an agent, and the agent will sort everything out. You won't be doing anything manually.
Ooh, I like that. You giving me ideas.
Hey Jade,
Okay.
can you speak a little bit about DUG in general? Is that because I've been to DUG events in Tampa? Is that like a regional thing, or is it how does it work?
I'll
So
pass
Doug-
it back to Brittany.
Yeah, so Doug is a global thing. So are you in the Tampa area? Then it sounds like,
Yes.
Carl? Yeah,
Yep.
so there is a group in Tampa that meets in person regularly. I actually used to go to that one, then I moved up to the Panhandle. So I was like, hey, I don't have any friends up here that want to talk dynamics, so I'm gonna create my own group. But the Tampa group, they're a great group in person, but there's a lot of us that do virtual.
Okay.
I think a lot of that started kind of during COVID, and just trying to get people together in certain, areas is really difficult. I am the only person that is currently on this call that's actually in Northwest Florida. So if I had an in-person event, I would be talking to myself. So maybe Jade would have come in person to present, me and her would have just sat there and, had some good appetizers and, some sodas or something. But,
Right.
Doug has a lot of events. There's actually some stuff coming up. Let me actually pull that back up. I'll share my screen again.
There's also a regional event as well. I think it's going to be January
Yes,
for
in Tampa.
for the Tampa. So
Cool.
that'll be a bigger event than the monthly ones. So that'll be quite good to go to if you've not been to one, because we'll have a lot more
Great.
people locally.
Yep. So these are the regionals that are coming up. There's some in Denver, Ohio, Dallas, and then we are currently planning the one for Tampa for January.
Cool.
And I think Tampa group actually has a meetup later this week, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
I think, yeah. I think it's in St. Pete. It's more like a social thing, I believe. I signed up for it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah, they're a great group of people. I miss them dearly. One of these days I'll get back there for a meeting or two. But if you have things on Doug you want to check out, you can always check out where is it? DynamicsUserGroup.com, and that'll give you all the resources, all of the meetups that are available, and all it's a great resource. We said in the beginning of the meeting, this used to say at the beginning of our group. So this group's been around since April of last year. And when we started, that community member number was I think 45,000, if not less. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look and see, but it's a community that's growing. And quite honestly, some of the best people that I've known in the industry, I've met through Doug events. So.
Yeah, and if you're learning as well, most of all the events that are recorded are on YouTube as well. So there'll be other Power Platform YouTube clips on the Doug YouTube channel as well.
great. We'll check it out.
Yep. Any other questions or comments or thoughts on Doug or Power Pages? No, I will take that as a no. I actually saw some like affirmative head shakes, so we're good. So that'll wrap us up for this one. Our July meetup is coming on July 23rd, so that one will get announced out on the meetup platform probably in the morning. I typically do it the morning after our meetups, so be on the lookout for that one. That one is actually going to be a Northwest Florida speaker, so I'm super excited for that. We love our speakers that are not from our area, but it's always exciting when we do have someone local. So we do have that coming up. We are also looking for speakers for August, September, October, November, December into the future. So if you are interested in speaking, feel free to reach out to Gav or myself with your thoughts, or if there's a particular topic you would love to learn more about, let us know, and we'll do our best to find a speaker that'll speak to that topic so we can learn more about that. So I think that's all we have for today. So thank you, Jade, so much for this presentation. I had no idea Power Pages actually was that user-friendly. They were very intimidating. So
cool.
So I learned a ton. I'm sure everyone else did here. So thank you again for taking the time to put that presentation together and to just join us this lovely, what is it, Tuesday evening.
Yes. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye.